welcome to today's live stream. Now, we are going to discuss gold and silver a bit today in today's live stream, but primarily I want to focus on what is ahead in the crypto space and how this is an opportunity perhaps that stackers shouldn't overlook as a way to grow our stacks of gold and silver. So I will say right off the bat that for the collapse of the fiat monetary system, which is an event that I view as likely inevitable, the assets of choice for me remain tangible, hard assets. And I just want to get that out of the way so that everybody watching hears that before they comment about how cryptocurrencies are a scam, a bubble, a tulip mania, whatever you want to call it. But the reality is that tomorrow, Donald Trump is going to be inaugurated as president, and this is an individual who has a very pro-crypto agenda. And as a result, there's going to be a lot of money flowing into the crypto space. Personally, I just bought some XRP, and I'll tell you why as we go through this live stream. And feel free to chime in how you feel about crypto. I know this is kind of a polarizing topic in the stacker community. But again, I don't view crypto really as a means to an end, although there are some advantages to digital assets over physical ones in some ways. We can talk about that as well. But overall, I think that this is worth examining. So thanks for tuning in. By the way, if you're in the live stream, been a while since I've done one of these, do me a favor, smash the like button, leave a comment. Julia Straker in the comments here says he's been selling metals and buying Bitcoin. Well, I haven't done that. I've never actually sold any of my metals. In fact, I have been adding 2 positions in physical metal recently as well. I just picked up 5 more tubes of this junk silver from SD Bullion. And, right now the sentiment in the metals is incredibly low compared to the crypto space. So why would I want to buy into crypto when, the contrarian in me just wants to focus on gold and silver? Well, it's because there's going to be a lot of money, as I said, flowing into this. And by the way, today's video is sponsored by SD Bullion. If you want to get some gold or silver, physical bullion, make sure you check out SD Bullion. You can go to sdbullion.com/new. If you're a new customer, you can get some gold or silver at spot there. But this is a president, again, who is very pro-crypto. So this is from the AP. Trump promotes new meme coin before taking office on pro-crypto agenda. So just a couple days ago, Donald Trump announced his own Trump coin, a meme coin. If that doesn't tell you how this guy feels about crypto and how policies are going to affect the crypto price during his presidency, then I don't know what does. But this was a leak that was reported from Forbes, and this is a big one specifically for XRP, which is the crypto of choice for myself right now. Now, I've mentioned in the past that I own some Bitcoin, and I've always been kind of a Bitcoin maximalist when it comes to cryptocurrency, and I've always viewed it as more of a lottery ticket than anything else. But now I view it as a higher probability play than a lottery ticket, and that is XRP specifically. And I'll tell you why. Bitcoin maybe is going to be the store of value. The Bitcoin maximalists say that Bitcoin could come to be the predominant asset in the world, right? The whole economy could be forced to fit into just 21 million Bitcoin, and actually less than that because some of those have been lost. So, if the whole market cap of the world goes into Bitcoin, it's going to go very high. But I fail to see a lot of potential use cases for Bitcoin, except for the fact that a lot of people seem to think that it is the original cryptocurrency, maybe the most widely recognized, and it does have that going for it. But XRP is this, Ripple is the name, is a crypto that seems to have much better use case for things such as financial transactions within organizations like banks and financial institutions, and also for cross-border payments. It's a very liquid, very quick network. I have sent some crypto back and forth, and it seems to go a lot faster, and it's a lot cheaper to send than Bitcoin, for example. So that's one reason. There's a number of reasons why I want to get into this, but I mentioned this leak. So let me talk about this first. So Forbes reported just a few days ago that there was a leak from the Trump administration, from the incoming Trump administration regarding cryptocurrency, and that was that not just do they plan to create a Bitcoin reserve, which is something that has been discussed, especially since Trump visited the Bitcoin 2024 conference, where he made some significant bullish forecasts for Bitcoin. He definitely got all the Bitcoin votes, I'm sure, as a result of his very pro-crypto stance. So, how pro-crypto is Trump really? I'm not sure. Maybe it's just a political angle because he knows that, a lot of people like the idea of making a lot of money for doing nothing, just speculating on these digital assets. But that doesn't mean it's not going to happen, right? So the speculation here surrounding this leak is that not only will they create a Bitcoin reserve, but they may also create a broader cryptocurrency reserve, which will include Ripple. It would also include USDC, which is a stable coin, and a competitor to Ethereum called Solana. I'm not pretending to be an expert on cryptocurrency. I mean, this is something I've followed for a long time, but it's never anything I've made any real significant bets on. My Bitcoin has gone up significantly since I purchased it, but I didn't buy that much, so I didn't really realize too many gains on that. In fact, I haven't realized any gains. I still hold them, and the Bitcoin's worth considerably more than what I paid for it. But I just wish I had bought more. But hindsight's always 20/20, and I'm still not unhappy that I have been stacking gold and silver. Again, for the long term, for what I view as a financial system that is ultimately completely unsustainable, I want to be holding hard assets. But silver is up something like 30% over the last year, which is pretty good for a tangible asset. Pretty good for a rock is what a lot of the Bitcoin crowd describe it as. And I can hold it in my hand. But look at XRP. XRP just a few weeks ago was trading around 50 cents. Today it's over $3. And when Bitcoin first had its big surge, what was it, back in like 2018? I thought that maybe it would be like a tulip mania. I mean, that was my initial impression, was that it was a bubble. The price crashed down and I thought, well, that was it. But here's the thing about the tulip mania, the first big bubble there in the Netherlands. Tulips didn't go up, come down, and then go back up. It was one time. It was one spike, and then that was it. With cryptocurrency, although there has been an incredible amount of volatility in the space, it has proven to be more than just a one-hit wonder, so to speak. I mean, the Bitcoin price now is significantly higher than it was back in 2018. Now, that's also another reason that I like XRP. See, XRP has been bogged down with all of these issues over the past several years. So in 2018, XRP was trading close to where it is today. That was its all-time high. It just broke through the all-time high. But back in 2018, XRP was around where it is today, whereas Bitcoin is trading at a significantly higher valuation than it was at any other point in history. And XRP is starting to really gain, and it's starting to realize its potential in terms of price. Now, some of the reasons for that. So back in 2020, the SEC, that's the Security and Exchange Commission. And while we're on that topic, by the way, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not telling anybody to buy anything or allocate your hard-earned money in any which way. I'm just kind of telling you what I'm doing. That's why I'm sharing with you what I did. Now, Comic Lover in the chat here says, XRP sucks, it's controlled. It can be confiscated. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess you almost could say the same things about silver. The price is definitely controlled in paper markets, and you could confiscate silver, I guess. But the fact that XRP, let me expound on that. The fact that it is controlled may actually be in its favor, right? The fact that any of these cryptocurrencies can ultimately be controlled, and in some ways are sort of a facsimile of real money. There's a reason that they always depict Bitcoin as like a gold or a silver coin or something like that, an imagery of it, whereas it's really just this digital asset. But I think what may be coming is that, the financial system is on its last legs. We're $36 trillion in debt. We've got all these issues. You've got Trump now coming in as this sort of miraculous savior of the economy with his, pro-crypto policies and all the crypto that he's been talking up, launching his own meme coin. It's possible here that what we're being set up for is a transition to a digital currency under Donald Trump. right? A CBDC, a central bank digital currency. And again, this is why in the long term you want to have tangible assets where the logistics of confiscation at least favor the holder rather than a digital asset that can kind of be shut down with the flip of a switch. But that doesn't mean that there's not going to be a significant asset appreciation in that asset like XRP. You got to take the blinders off here and have an open mind. A lot of stackers have this very negative view of cryptocurrency, and it's easy to understand why, because you should be skeptical about things like this, but that doesn't mean that you want to miss out on opportunities, right? That I think is a balance that you have to strike. So back in 2020, back to this point, but I appreciate all of you who are commenting in the chat. I do read it, or I try to read it as we go along here. So back in 2020, the SEC labeled XRP as a security, or they tried to label it that way. And this put a lot of pressure on exchanges not to carry it. The price crashed. It went from, like I said, in 2018, the price was around where it is now, like around $3, maybe a little lower than that. And it crashed down to well under $1. But here's the thing, in 2025, with a crypto-friendly Trump administration coming in, it is very possible that SEC battle may be coming to an end. And that accounts for some of the recent price action. I mean, that is already to some extent priced in, but I think that we have not seen the full extent of just how bullish for crypto a Trump administration is really going to be. That America First crypto reserve, if that goes into place and the Treasury or whatever organization is using printed fiat currency to bid up the price of an asset like XRP or Solana or Bitcoin or what have you, there's going to be a significant expansion of the market cap of crypto, and the prices are going to rise accordingly. So, I do think that now is a time when you can acquire cryptocurrency. And let's say you buy some XRP, this is just hypothetical, and it goes to $6, right? Doubles in price. I mean, it's gone like 5x in the past couple weeks. So over the course of the next year, it could 2x in price easily, I think. You can always sell your initial investment, buy some gold and silver with that, roll your profits into crypto, or rather into tangible assets. I mean, that's how I think we should be viewing this opportunity. And gold and silver in the long run, I think, are going to be the assets that can stand the test of time. They're not going to zero. They're not going away. They're real money. They've been money for thousands of years. But if you're getting multiples expansion in the crypto space, and there's a lot of signs indicating that a lot of cash is going to flow into that space, then why not get some exposure to it, right? I mean, there's a risk in everything, right? There's a risk in acquiring physical assets. There's a risk in sitting in cash, especially cash that is being devalued rapidly by the policies of the Federal Reserve and the U.S. Treasury. Why not get a little exposure to an asset that can 2, 3, 4, 5x in a very short period of time? And look, yes, gold and silver, I think, are capable of making those kind of moves at some point in the future, but we're not there yet. And I think it's more probable that you're going to see the price and valuation of crypto explode before you see gold and silver do that. Now, what if XRP pulls back? I mean, it absolutely could. It could drop by 50% tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if it did, because it's already moved up about 5x, 500% since the beginning of the year. So if it does, what will I do? I'll probably buy more, because I suspect that there is going to be a large influx of dollars into these technologies. And one thing I will say about crypto is, this technology isn't going anywhere, right? So maybe XRP is not the one, maybe Bitcoin's not the one, Trump coin probably not the one, although, I mean, anything could happen, I guess. Maybe Dogecoin will become the world reserve currency. Nothing would surprise me at this point. Put a 1 in the chat if at this point in 2025 there's almost nothing that would really shock you or surprise you anymore. I mean, things are getting weird. There's drones flying in the sky. There's maybe alien ships that have been owned by the U.S. government. Whistleblowers are telling us that. The idea of XRP doubling or tripling is not that crazy, right? It's not that far-fetched. The world is a strange place in 2025. And I just think that you don't want to have all your eggs in one basket, right? Yeah, ADA is also worth looking into. As Hello Haha says, yeah, I own some ADA. That's Cardano, and that's one that has a yield. You can stake your Cardano and you can actually get a yield on it. Speaking of that, goldbacks are a gold-backed currency if you like hard assets, and you can actually earn interest on those at UPMA. Over at upma.org, you can get a gold-backed lease and earn interest paid in gold. So if you're looking for an alternative physical currency, gold-based asset, goldbacks are worth looking into. I just think it's important to diversify, right? I own physical tangible assets like gold and silver coins. I own goldbacks that I keep on hand. I have some in the UPMA where they earn interest paid in gold. And now I own a larger stake of crypto too. I've owned Bitcoin for a while, but I think it's worth, as we enter into what's going to be like the altcoin season, there are 100% going to be altcoins out there where there actually maybe is some use case and they get bid up, 10x the multiple. That is what is possible in the crypto space. But also, you could lose everything. It's like not a tangible asset. Nothing's going to happen that's going to make this ounce of silver evaporate into thin air. Whereas, if you buy the wrong crypto, it could be one of those things where it's just, and it's gone. The old South Park episode. That could be the case too. But I think XRP looks like it actually could have a use case here. There have been rumors that Bank of America and other similar financial institutions have used XRP for internal transactions. And I can tell you this, if the CBDC does get adopted and it uses one of these crypto technologies, whatever coin that is going to appreciate in value drastically. Now, I want to talk a bit about the CBDC and why this may be even a bigger threat under a Trump administration than under the outgoing Biden administration or under a hypothetical Harris administration that will never come to pass. Thankfully, I'll say, there's some good things and bad things about all these politicians, but that's one reality I'm glad I don't have to live in. But Trump here, I think he is a good enough salesman, and he has such a almost cult-like following among his supporters that there are things he will be able to implement that there is no way a Biden or Harris administration would have been able to, right? If we get a financial crisis under Trump's watch, and this is a very real possibility, just look at the state of the economy. You've got rising inflation, you've got an out of control debt and deficit problem, $36.3 trillion and growing. This year, thus far in 2025, the fiscal year, which started in October, the deficit as reported by the Treasury is $711 billion. That puts us on track for a greater than $2 trillion annual deficit. And thank you, OC Stacker. And thank you to everybody, by the way, I see in the chat who's a regular watcher. If you're new, do me a favor. We've got 183 people in the live stream, 45 thumbs up. We can do better than that. Smash that like button. Hopefully, if you stuck around thus far, you're at least getting some value, or you find this entertaining or interesting or valuable in some way. Do me a favor, smash that like button. And consider subscribing to the channel if you're new. But Trump really has the possibility here or the capability perhaps of implementing some things that simply would never have been accepted by his predecessor or by the alternative candidate, right? There are people out there who would have rioted in the streets if Joe Biden had tried to create a central bank digital currency and, deregulate the banks and merge them with crypto technology. But under Trump, many of those same people will gleefully sign up for their CBDC account, and you'll probably get some kind of incentive to do so. You'll get, the equivalent of the stimulus checks that he sent out the first time. It'll just be the digital version. And everybody will say, well, this is great. We've got, a CBDC, but in my account, I got $5,000 deposited or whatever as, it'll be sold as like stimulus to fight inflation or some absolutely ludicrous thing. But if you hear it from the right person, or if, the population hears it from the right person, it's going to be a lot more palatable to them. And I'm not saying this is necessarily going to occur without, like this is a guaranteed thing. It's just, I look at everything that's shaping up. You've got Trump launching Trump meme coins, talking about an America First crypto reserve, speaking at the Bitcoin conference, talking about what an amazing technology this is. I think he even forecast that the market cap of Bitcoin could exceed the market cap of gold. Let me know if I'm right about that in the chat. That's just something that I remember. That might be not entirely factually true. So leave me a comment in the chat if you know whether or not he said that. But yeah, I mean, CBDC is a way that they can extend the life of the fiat monetary system. Ultimately, again, for the collapse of that, which I view as an inevitability because it's based on exponentially increasing debts and deficits and pumping the economy full of fake paper wealth and relying on a wealth effect, which is nothing more than inflation, to make people feel richer. You got double the cash, but it's only got 1/3 of the purchasing power, and yet a lot of people are going to be thrilled about that. They're going to think, I finally make $100,000 a year. I finally make six figures. Never mind that on a six-figure income in the near future, you probably won't be able to afford a studio apartment. But that's the direction things are heading. And a cryptocurrency, a CBDC, which the central bank can control at every level, 100%. They can control the issuance. They can control how it's spent. This is like, the ultimate fantasy of these Keynesian economists who think always that it's just, we need more intervention, right? It's the markets can't do their thing. We need to intervene and control things. That's exactly what they want. And yeah, you're right. Rudy in the chat here says that BTC is not constitutional money. And trust me, I would love if we had a system in which we really had constitutional money and where this coin right here didn't just say $1 because of tradition or whatever, just for fun. I wish that $1 really was a 1-ounce silver eagle. I mean, that would be a good place to start, right? But that's not what we're getting over the next 4 years. Just FYI, I have not heard a thing about making America the constitutional money capital of the world. The reality is that at this point, putting the US back on a gold or silver standard, which I would view as a move in the right direction, yeah, there would be a lot of pain and upset along with that transition. But the thing is, there's going to be a lot of pain and upset no matter what we do in the future because the problems are already baked into the cake. But instead, what we're likely to get, at least in the interim, before we're forced to go back to real money, is some kind of digital, tightly controlled system. Some people in the chat here are saying this sounds like the mark of the beast. Well, maybe. I mean, everybody's going to have their perspective on that. But before we can make any transition to gold or silver, I think there's going to be a period where these cryptocurrencies become much more widely adopted. In the long run, ultimately, blockchain technology isn't going anywhere, right? Even if we don't go on to a Ripple standard or a Bitcoin standard, they're going to use this technology for something, right? This is not going anywhere. And it will ultimately make the existing systems more efficient, maybe easier to operate, and definitely easier to control and monitor. And that is what the powers that be want. So they don't want untraceable physical money. And also, look at who controls the supply of gold and silver. The number one producer of gold in the world is China. Russia is also a major producer. The US, yeah, we make some gold, but not that much compared to our geopolitical opponents, those aligned, opposite to us on the geopolitical spectrum. And so there's no benefit to the US to making gold or silver into money once again. Now, that doesn't mean that there's not ultimately an economic law that will have to be reckoned with, that hard assets are money, but they're going to try to kick the can down the road and deny that as long as possible. That's the whole reason that Nixon took us off the gold standard in the first place, right? Because gold is an impediment to the government and corporations from doing their thing where they print all of this fiat money, they inflate these asset bubbles, they transfer wealth from the bottom of society to the top. Gold and silver don't help you do that, but a cryptocurrency CBDC certainly could assist with that, and therefore I think that that's where the focus is going to be. And you can look at this and bemoan the situation and say, well, I'll never go along with that, although you probably will because you won't have much choice. And at the end of the day, I don't think we as individuals are going to really have much say in how this plays out. But one thing that we can do is that we can get some exposure to these assets and benefit along the way. And certainly those who have been sitting on XRP, they have already benefited tremendously because the price has 5x'd over the past couple weeks. At that point, you could get back your original investment and still have a huge chunk of crypto sitting there, and that's your play money, that's your speculative money, which could potentially appreciate even further. And like I said, Bitcoin is trading at multiples of where it was in 2018. XRP is just getting back to its all-time high. So even though it has gone up significantly, I don't think that that's a reason to avoid that. And any dips are to be bought. That's what I think anyway. Again, not financial advice, not telling you what to do. But do me a favor, leave me a comment down below to let me know what you think about cryptocurrencies. Should stackers be diversifying into them? Is there an opportunity there? I think there is. Also, smash that like button if you haven't done that yet. And thanks for watching, everybody. Stay safe and happy stacking. Smart Silver Stacker out.